Namaste everybody. On behalf of the LSE Hindi Society, affiliated with the National Hindi Students Forum and sponsored by Shana Frozen Foods, I'd like to welcome you to today's event, a discussion on 21st century Hindu students as part of our celebration of India Week at LSE. Before we start, I'd just like to quickly get this out of the way. Any views or opinions raised by any individuals in today's discussion are not necessarily shared by the National Hindi Students Forum or by the LSE SU Hindi Society. Also, could I just take this moment to request of everyone to make sure that their phones are either off or on silent. I'd like to now introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. J. Lakhani. Mr. Lakhani is a physicist by qualification and was the first ever Hindu tutor at Eton College. He is also a key advisor for the Department of Children, Families and Schools. Additionally, he is the director of the Vivekananda Centre in London, as well as being the director of the Religious Education Centre of England and Wales. So, without further ado, Mr. J. Lakhani.
Okay, the session we have today is Hinduism in the 21st century, or the role of Hinduism for the youth in the 21st century. Now you see, the Hindu religion prides itself in saying that we agree with the findings of science. We are defined as a science. The word dharma means making sense of the world that we live in. What are the rules and laws that dictate this world, the external world as well as the inner world, that drive human beings as individuals, as societies. So we are trying to suss out the rules that control and dictate this world and understand, come to terms with it, try and resolve the human condition. This is the definition of the word dharma. It doesn't say finding God at all. It's saying resolving the human condition, the human issue. So, by definition, we are stuck with sciences, both hard sciences like physics and soft sciences like, say, anthropology or social sciences. We have no difficulty. We relate well. We say that's what we are all about anyway. So, for us, science comes as an ally, not something that is undermining or at loggerheads with the teachings of Hinduism. We have to stick with science. We have no choice in the matter. That's how we are defined, our religion is defined. So we have no difficulty, say, with the ideas of, say, the theory of evolution. We don't believe in theory of creation. We have evolution. We have no difficulty with the idea of the cycle of creation and destruction, Big Bang and Big Crunch. We have no difficulty. We have always been talking the same thing for thousands of years. This is esoteric Hinduism, not the narrative-based Puran Hinduism. I'm giving you philosophically oriented esoteric Hinduism. We have no difficulty with evolution or the Big Bang theory. And one thing that comes out of evolution that is very lovely from Darwin is this. Look, any living entity, whether it is an individual, a living organism, or even society, unless they continue to evolve and take into account the changing context in which they find themselves, unless they continue to evolve, says Darwin, they die out. And this religion that we come from says, yes, we know that. We agree with Darwin. We must continue to evolve to take into account the changing context in which we find ourselves. We are not at all apologetic. You see, we love it. It's an ongoing phenomena. Religion is not a dead duck for us, not something stuck in a rut. It is an ongoing, evolving phenomena. So we like the idea that we must continue to evolve and show how these lovely ideas of religion become relevant in the world that we live in. Not in the ancient world when it was preached, but in modern world. So we are an ongoing, evolving phenomena, and we pride ourselves as being an evolving religion, thankfully. So now, this is your job as students. Unless you are able to carry the deeper ideas of Hinduism into the next century, your religion is going to pay a price. It becomes defunct, it becomes outdated, it becomes counterproductive for the betterment of greater society. You need to evolve, and we are ready to evolve. Your religion gives you permission. There are other religions that are stuck in a rut. They say, you see, our prophets lived so many thousand years ago and they stipulated how human beings should behave, and that's fixed. But we say society has changed, has evolved. Can't we change the way we present religious ideas into modern society? No, it's fixed. So their prophets are fixed. Their scriptures are fixed. The prescription of living a religious life is fixed. You are not fixed, thankfully. So you must show your uniqueness in being able to present the evolved face of Hinduism suited to the 21st century. If you fail to do this, you fail your religion. You see, this is why I take pride. And I am in a way at the cutting edge of some of these areas where I have to drag the Hindus screaming into the 21st century. They like to look hard back to this ancient, idyllic time. I say, grow up. Try and see to what extent you can relate to the world today, a different world that you face around you. How are you going to interact with it? Evolve, my friends, evolve, or you die. As a religious enterprise, you die. So this is the presentation I want to make to you in the next 20 minutes. And of course then, serious question and answers. And you're welcome to fire pointed questions. I will deliberately encourage you to do that because lots of people will benefit from this question and answer session. Okay, so how do we evolve? First of all, we say, if spirituality is a universal phenomena, if some ancient prophet said, oh, we discovered spirituality, we will become enlightened, we have found God, it's good for them. If it's a universal phenomena, then the doorways have been opened up for the whole of humanity to experience this. Otherwise, it's not a universal phenomena, it's just a quirk of nature. And that's hardly worth bothering, it's just an accident. If it's a universal phenomena, then it should be possible to produce people in our times who are able to talk about the same experience, who are able to relate to the same experience. If it is not so, then you might as well shove religion down the tube. It is worthless. It has to be a universal phenomena. So we pride ourselves in saying, we had ancient prophets who talked about spirituality from first-hand experience. This is the fountainhead of all religions. First-hand spiritual experience is the fountainhead. It is not an intellectual exercise. It is not an intellectual acceptance. It is a dramatic experience which transforms their lives for the betterment and transforms the lives of anybody who comes around them. This is the definition of the prophet of Hindus and prophet of other religions too. They have a life-transforming experience. You may say, well, it's maybe just a G-spot here, getting rubbed up the wrong way. Be challenging, challenge stuff like that. But this is what we are suggesting. So we say we have ancient prophets and we have modern prophets. See, we are an ongoing phenomenon. Other religions are stuck in a rut. We have modern proponents. And why should we be fixated on just the ancient ones? Why? Just because old is gold? That just shows inertia. You must be able to relate to modern personalities who can talk about spirit from experience and in a way thrill humanity. Relate to the modern ones and not just be fixated on an ancient one. But this opening that we give to the Hindus, this openness that we possess, comes with a health warning, serious health warning. And I see this all the time. I meet up with this all the time. For every one genuine one, you'll get a whole host of charlatans who are out for their own personal benefits. Either they are deluded themselves and they think they are spiritual, or they are out to delude others. They are downright out to delude others. And you are fully aware what I talk about, because I'm sure in your own lives you would have come across personality who would make you shudder and say, these people can't be truly religious. Because all the golden Rolex watches they are waving about and makes you worried. These are perhaps not truly spiritual people. But who is going to decide? Is there some authority? Do we have the Vatican that can dictate, okay, he's a saint? We have no such thing. It's an open phenomena. We say the individual, we as individuals can look at their lives and think for ourselves and then decide whether this is a true prophet of your religion or somebody who is perhaps self-deluded or is out to delude others. Be always aware. So this openness that we possess comes with a serious health warning and a drawback. It can be abused, and it quite frequently is abused. So be very watchful. Always judge for yourself. And I'm not going to give you a dictionary saying, okay, look it up here. You decide, you got it within you. You see this thing, that thing, rational faculty, use it. These are about evolving face of prophets of the Hindus. Even our scriptures are very open. You may think everything that Hindus relate to, the authoritative scripture of Hindus, the Vedas, are kind of old books, the Yajur Veda and the Rig Veda and the Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. Oh yes, they are collecting dust in the LSE library. And that's where all religion lies. No. Your religion says